why do we call it death? Like, why do we call it...
Here, listen. Because, like, when a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, like, we don't think that the caterpillar died.
Exactly.
We just say that it became a butterfly.
Exactly, bruh.
I never thought about that.
Exactly, bruh. Exactly. Like, why do we think of, like, death this way?
Christianity? I don't know.
No.
Let me
Ego.
stop.
That's ego right there.
I actually don't have anything.
That's ego. Ego, bro.
You think so?
We're too attached to our current selves, the selves that we identify, that we can't envision ourselves transforming into something greater.
That is. Which is exactly what I was saying before about...
Yeah, I agree.
The concept of making the universe, like, into human form. And it's like, we're so egotistical that we don't think that there's anything higher than humans. Like, we think that we are the apex. And
Exactly.
But to quote you again...
Girl, we in this loop.
How would something...
We in it.
That's able to create us and everything else, how would that not be smarter than us or above us? Like, we're not out... I mean, we are technically creating life, but, like, we're not out here creating all types of life, like, in terms of, procreation or whatever.
But when you think about it, like, that's also something within the Bible. Like, we are a part or a piece of God. So a little bit of God is within all of us, right? So if we're at the end to, reconnect with this greater entity, why is it that humans only think, or, like, humans is such, like, a harsh word to use, I feel. Like, I'm above everybody else. Like these humans. Like I just feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel that, like, why is it that we are so stuck within this is who we are? Like, the ego is so strong. Like, we can't envision ourselves becoming anything greater, becoming one with God, you know what I mean? Like, we already have such a strong entity, like a part of that entity within all of us. Yet, we create these rules and guidelines to try and to be more like what we envision God to be. You feel me?
Girl, what I'm hearing is an inferiority complex. We as humans are afraid of there being something that is higher than us, greater than us, so we make ourselves whatever that highest thing is.
Yes. Here for it. Good shit. Bro, this that good stuff right here.
Right.
Bruh, no, like... Hold on, I gotta take a sip. No, but deadass, like, it's like, it's literally written within the same scriptures that they fear, that we're literally a part, or we're created from, this greater entity that is God. But yet, it's like you said inferiority complex. On the mark. On the mark. Bro, like, this is so interesting. Like, what? It's so fun.
It is.
Religions are just a copious, or like a coping method for people, or like humans, to become acclimated to the idea or the concept that we're all gonna die at some point.
Oh.
Yeah, like, it's because my version of hell is a person, or the person's soul, that is not content with the life that they lived during their, memorable existence, so to speak. So, like, you're living your life, and then because anytime, like, I think that if you look at it so, like, imagine you're going to sleep, and, like, you have kind of anxiety over something that has, like, happened, but this is the last time you're going to go to sleep, right? So you start thinking about your life, And then with people, the most memorable things are the things that we regret in life. So we can have an X amount of enjoyable experiences, but at the end of the day, when we're lying down in the bed, we're going to remember the things that we were uncontent with when we go to sleep. So like, say you were late for an interview or something. Like, even though the interview went smashing, the fact that you were late for that interview is probably going to be the thing that's going to be left in your mind before you go to sleep. So now if you apply death and sleep as the same kind of concept, and for those that like pass peacefully, so to say, I feel that the last thing while you're, I also feel that people, when they're passing away, they know it's, they kind of know it's their time. Again, if
which is also interesting.
Mm-hmm. Again, because if they're passing peacefully, again, that's a big plot of my thesis. That if you're going through your life and the experiences that you had, like, although you've had an immense amount of happiness in your life, you're going to remember the things that you regret the most. And I feel that if you haven't come to terms with the discontent in your life, that if that's the last memory that you have, that in and of itself is a hell for you. I don't particularly think that, like, you die and then you go to this magical new realm that is hell, that is, the worst place or the worst experience that you've ever had in your life. But I do think it's the regret that we have, the lingering regrets that we have as humans, that become the kind of like the last memory that we have as we depart from like this human realm or whatever. And I think the reason that we are, because I also believe in rebirth, I think the reason that we are reborn is to recollect that final thought that we have in our death when we pass. It's like, I wish I could.
Then hell technically for you is only like that moment, like that last split moment before we pass, because do you feel like there's any type of consciousness after we die and before we rebirth?
I don't think I've ever thought about it, to be honest. Like, the concept, like, I've only ever thought about it as death, and then I feel like there is a time period in between death and our next rebirth, but I don't know if there's a sense of, like, I identify with the sense of consciousness associated with that in between. So, I don't know, that's a really interesting concept. I feel that the in-between, I don't know, the thought that just came to me was like, we live like many different lives through our rebirths, and I feel that, I don't know how to explain this. What I got from it, it was like, we live many different lives, but we have a main path, and then although we might like branch out to different lives that might not lead to a new lesson, perhaps, like an overall lesson that we're supposed to learn before we ascend into whatever peaceful realm that we're supposed to like ascend into, that we have all these different lives, but we, at the end of the day, we move back into like that mainstream of what we're supposed to be learning. So I feel that maybe those other lives are not memorable. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I never thought about it, because like in my mind it was just like, okay, we die, there's a time period before we are born again, and then we are born to learn the lessons that we were supposed to learn in our previous life. But I'm really not sure, or I really haven't thought about it. It's an interesting